Japan spent $35 billion, spent in a single day. And, well, the currency still kept falling. This week, Japan's financial system cracked. Taiwan watched a rehearsal for its own blockade. Cuba lost access to fuel. And Ethiopia stood on the edge of a war that could kill hundreds of thousands. 4 countries, 4 crises, 1 collapsing system. This is the story behind the story. On April 30th, 2026, Japan's yen crashed to 160.7 per dollar. Its weakest point in 2 years. Tokyo panicked. The finance ministry issued what it called a final warning to currency speculators. Then it acted. Japan bought yen and sold dollars, spending an estimated $35 billion in a single day. It worked for about 48 hours. Then the yen started sliding again. Why is this happening? The US-Iran war closed the Strait of Hormuz. Japan imports more than 90% of its crude oil from the Middle East. When that oil route closes, Japan's import costs explode. The yen weakens. Inflation rises. The Bank of Japan has already cut its 2026 growth forecast in half, down to 0.5%. Here is what no one is saying loudly. Japan holds over $1 trillion in US Treasury bonds. It is one of America's largest creditors. When Japan hurts, the entire global financial system feels it. Now look east. Taiwan manufactures over 60% of the world's most advanced semiconductor chips. Without Taiwan, global technology does not slow down. It stops. In 2025, China ran its biggest ever military exercises around Taiwan. The drills were called Justice Mission 2025. Analysts confirmed they were not practicing an invasion. They were practicing a blockade, a complete shutdown of Taiwan's ports and shipping lanes. Now, in May 2026, the US military is stretched thin by the Iran war. Europe is, well, focused inward, and Taiwan is watching its window of security close. Here's the part China really doesn't want discussed. While the world's attention is fixed on Tehran, Beijing is quietly building its domestic sanction-busting infrastructure. They're learning in real time how to survive a Western economic blockade. Not for the Iran war, for Taiwan. Fly west to Havana. The Trump administration has placed an energy embargo on Cuba. Not just sanctions, an energy embargo. The island is, quite simply, running out of fuel. Humanitarian organizations are raising alarms about food and medicine shortages. In late April 2026, US and Cuban officials held talks. But Washington has made its position clear. Cuba must reform, or the pressure increases. Why Cuba? Well, because Trump's new national security strategy explicitly declares the Western Hemisphere a US sphere of dominance. Cuba is the test case. If Washington can starve a government into compliance using an energy embargo, the same playbook gets used across Latin America. Meanwhile, China has become Latin America's largest trading partner. Bilateral trade is approaching $700 billion annually. The battle for the Western Hemisphere isn't military, it's economic. And, frankly, Washington is losing ground. Now, let's move to the Horn of Africa. In May 2026, the Tigray People's Liberation Front announced it is retaking control of the Tigray regional government. The accusation is that Addis Ababa has not paid civil servants, has not honoured its peace commitments, and is, provoking a return to war. The last Tigray war killed an estimated 300,000 to 500,000 people. It was, honestly, one of the deadliest conflicts of this century, and a second round would be even worse. And, the economic ground is already collapsing. Inside Ethiopia, wheat prices surged 28% in just 1 year. The national currency has lost over 100% of its value against the dollar since 2024. The country still imports 1.4 million metric tons of wheat annually just to feed its people. An armed relapse in Ethiopia does not stay in Ethiopia. Sudan is already burning. Somalia remains unstable. Eritrea is on the border, accused of arming militia groups. The entire Horn of Africa is, frankly, one spark away from a regional catastrophe. So, why are Japan, Taiwan, Cuba and Ethiopia all breaking at the same time? Well, it's because they are all stress points inside the same collapsing system. The US-Iran war shut down global oil flows. That broke Japan's currency. That stretched America's military to the limit, exposing Taiwan. That gave Washington cover to escalate economic warfare in Cuba. And that removed the world's attention from Ethiopia just long enough for the peace to unravel. This is what a multipolar world actually looks like. Not a clean transition, not a diplomatic handshake. Simultaneous, cascading, overlapping crises everywhere, at once. 4 countries, 1 system, and it is breaking. The mainstream media will show you each story separately. We are showing you all 4 together. Because, honestly, when you see them together, the conclusion is unavoidable. Here we are, the story behind the story. Like and share this video. Subscribe to us for the latest update.